Go. Perfect. Hopefully you can all see the presentation right now. So I would like to first thank you everybody for joining our webinar today. My name is Rani. I work for Pitch Perfect and DMC Forward. For those of you who don't know us, Pitch Perfect is actually a sales office mainly towards hospitality and tourism sector. So we have partners such as hotels, airlines, cruise lines, destinations, etc. And next to that, we have DMC Forward, which is a sales representation office towards DMCs only. So we have DMCs all over the world who we represent in the Benelux. So today we brought together two of our partners. They will introduce you into Salzburg and Salzburger land. But before I introduce our two partners, I would like to ask everyone to mute their microphone if that's okay. And then if you should have any questions, please use the chat, or you can also ask them after the presentation. So let's get started. We have today Elisabeth from Salzburg Convention Bureau and Alfred Holzknecht from Alfred Holzknecht DMC. So go ahead, guys.
Thank you, Rani, and a very, very warm welcome also from my side. I hope you can all hear me well. I am Elisabeth, as you can see in the picture, from the Salzburg Convention Bureau, and I hope my background doesn't look too weird and the horses are not running into my neck. Yeah, I'm working for the Salzburg Convention Bureau now for 5 years. I am a sales and marketing manager there, so basically helping you with all questions that you might have for Salzburg and the countryside of Salzburg. And I'm really, really happy today to be here with my colleague Alfred.
So welcome on board also from my side. Nice to see that so many of you checked in and get their boarding pass from DMC Forward to come to Austria today. My name is Alfred. I'm the Managing Director of Travel Service Consulting. We're destination based close to the city of Innsbruck. We basically cater the destination of entire Austria, as well as the boundary regions, so South Tyrol, which is the northern part of Italy, the southern part of Germany, in particular Bavaria and Munich, and also some boundary regions in the east of our country, such as the city of Bratislava or Hungarian regions. We do have a strong network in our destination, so we can basically cater all of your MICE requests as well as your leisure groups. And we also have a small but well-running FIT department in our company. So today we're going to take you to actually one of my favorite destinations in Austria, which is Salzburg. And it's not only one of my favorite destinations because of the rich cultural heritage we have there, but also because of the amazing diversity in terms of landscape and of course activities. When we talk about Salzburg, we have to distinguish two different things. We talk about Salzburg as a province, one of the 9 provinces of Austria, which is the one you can see in dark red. And the capital city, to keep things easy, we called it Salzburg as well. So Salzburg is the capital city of the province of Salzburg. The province is surrounded by 4 other Austrian provinces. In the east, you have Upper Austria and Styria. In the south, you have Carinthia. And in the western part, you have Tyrol. This is where we're based. And then there is also a borderline with Germany. So the city of Salzburg is approximately 140 kilometers away from the city of Munich, and basically double from our capital, Vienna. So it is literally in the heart of Europe, and it is very easy to get there. Or what would you say, Elisabeth?
Absolutely agree on that, Alfred. So we are, of course, most of the destinations say, really in the heart of Europe, in the heart of the DACH region, not far away from Belgium. And getting around couldn't be easier in Salzburg. You can see these lovely lady walking on a sunny day. And this is my most loved mean of transport in Salzburg, because no matter if you are on the countryside or if you're discovering the city of Salzburg, you have walking distance everywhere. And this is really American through walking distance. So walking from the conference center, for example, to go to the old town is a 10-minute easy, nice walk along the riverside. Or also, if you have a conference or a meeting in the city of Salzburg and you want to go skiing in the afternoon, that's just the first ski resort is just a half an hour drive away from the city. As well as the wonderful Lake District. But of course, Salzburg does have an own airport as well. It's one of the largest in the Alpine region. And we do have excellent connections within Central Europe, so great connections with Lufthansa, Austrian Airlines towards Frankfurt, London, Istanbul, all the major German hubs, and in winter we have a very strong schedule also towards Belgium and the Nordic countries. Let's see how that will continue, but I'm happy to update you with our new flight schedules as soon as they are published. Alfred also mentioned our great proximity to Germany. So Munich is really easy to reach by train. So there is a direct train connection from Munich airport towards the city of Salzburg and also the countryside. And there is a high-speed train that connects Vienna and Salzburg within 2 hours and 20 minutes. So really easy to get there and in a really, really relaxed way. And once you're there, you can skip your transfers, skip your buses, and just put on your walking shoes. Right, let's say what the favorite time of Salzburg is. Alfred, when do you love to go to Salzburg?
Well, to be honest, I'm more the winter person, but for Salzburg, it's probably one of the exceptions. I really like to travel there all year round. There are amazing events, festivals going on, and as I already indicated in the beginning, the landscape is really so diverse that you can enjoy Salzburg as an all year round destination. You have beautiful ski resorts as well as lake regions in the summer, and you have the amazing city of Salzburg, which is, I always call it Austria's biggest village, because as you said, Elisabeth, you can walk almost everywhere in the city, and this makes it really, really charming. It is also an all year round destination, because one has to know that after our capital Vienna, Salzburg and Salzburgerland is the most important MICE region in Austria. So with a market share of about 20%, it is ranked second within Austria in terms of MICE destinations. And it is, of course, also the hospitality that not only applies to Salzburg, but to entire Austria, I would say. We're great hosts in Austria. We love welcoming people, and we hope to do that soon again. And yeah, let's say the first signs draw into the right direction for that. And with that hospitality, almost every village, every region, and Salzburg is very particular there too, has its own culinary highlights and things you can discover. In modern terms, one would call Elisabeth a foodie, probably. I personally prefer to call her the expert within the Salzburg Convention Bureau in terms of food and beverage, wining and dining, experiencing the local products and everything. But Elisabeth, why don't you tell our guests what could be on the menu when they visit our destination?
You actually stole my word. I'm a real foodie. And I love to welcome people and show them around in the great gastronomy and the great hospitality that the destination can offer. And these three pictures just give you an idea of what Salzburg has to offer. It is not just one of the highest density of organic farmers all over Austria, and also on the same time we have a very, very high number of Michelin star restaurants. But what you can typically see on those three pictures are very, very famous dishes, which you should definitely try once you get to Salzburg. And please let me know, I'm happy to show you the hidden secrets. So the first one are the Salzburger Nockerl. This is, as we call, sweet air. And it is a dessert. And here you can see it served in a very, very traditional way in one of the oldest hotels of Salzburg, the Goldene Hirsch, where culture or service is a real big issue in culture. They even had a story that goes back to the past, that in their restaurant only men are serving, and then they have a second restaurant where only ladies in Dirndl are serving. And the reason of the past was that they should, of course, not get into relationship, but what they forgot is that they had one common kitchen, so they met every time they went to the kitchen and pick up the plates. So just a little story behind. So the Salzburger Nockerl are made of egg yolk and sugar, and basically they are baked in the oven with some cranberries underneath. And if you really want to be a Salzburg expert, you always have to check if there are 3 Salzburger Nockerl, because they should represent the 3 city mountains that are surrounding the city. So only if you're served with 3 Salzburger Nockerl, you have the real right ones. And once you get there, I will tell you the 3 mountains and show you them. And then we have our world famous Mozart chocolate. There is a big story about the Mozart chocolate as well. You might know the red and golden ones that you can find in every duty-free shop at the airport. But actually, the original Mozart chocolate was founded in a small chocolaterie in Salzburg called Fürst. And they were the ones who really handmade the Mozart Kugel and took it to Paris to the World Expo in around about 120 years ago. And they forgot to put a copyright on it. So yeah, that's the story. And now they are the ones who can only call them the original Mozart chocolate, and you can only get and taste them in Salzburg. And I definitely recommend you to do so. And last but not least, Salzburg is very, very good in beer. I know it's hard to take this challenge with the Belgium audience, but yes, I like to take this challenge and convince you that we can do really nice beers as well. We have one of the largest family-owned beer brewery, which is excellent for a gala event or just for a welcome reception. And you can enjoy a great view at the Stiegelkeller, like you see it. Right back, the red roof in my background is the Stiegelkeller, actually. And then you can have this nice Brotzeit with typical speck and cheese and some really nice spreads. So yeah, just an idea. You see, I love to eat. I love food, and I'm happy to show you more about it. But there is something else than just food in Salzburg. So we can continue with that. So as Alfred already mentioned, green is everywhere when you go to Salzburg. We are the heart of Europe, surrounded by nature. So no matter if you want to go for a city hike after your event, you can do that directly in one of the city mountains. Most of the regions, if they're not covered by mountains, have great national parks, a lot of greenery. If you're looking for something fast, Salzburg is actually very experienced in automotive events. So you can see on the second picture, this is one of a hotel which is specialized in automotive events, and they have a real big test drive area with an off-piste drive. They also ice their whole golf course in the winter, so you can do ice trainings or ice go-karts as an incentive. Really, really fun. And we do also have a former Formula One track, which can be used for test drives. And actually, we already had nearly every car brand, either in the city or on the countryside of Salzburg, presenting their new products to the press and to the dealers. And if you're looking for something inspiring, Salzburg offers the largest classical music festival every year in summer, which is called the Salzburger Festspiele. Actually, this year we would celebrate our 100th anniversary. Let's see if we can keep on doing that. And it's a great, great festival. So it's 6 weeks full of operas, theaters, outdoor plays, concerts, and that really brings Salzburg on a very, very international scale because we can attract 250,000 guests from all over the world. But in the meantime, Salzburg is not just classical. We also host one of the largest electronic music festivals, the Electric Love, every year with big, big creative stage builder and great fun. So all of that can be used for events as well. There are lots of behind the stage tours or dining on the stage as in one of the plays. Yeah, a lot more to see. But I'm sure we will see a bit more from Alfred, right? Before we jump into our short video. Can we have the audio maybe as well? Otherwise, I do the audio. So what you can actually see.
Yodel and sing with it.
Yeah, you don't want me to sing, I'm sure. I'm not a good Sound of Music singer, and neither I am with Mozart. No, but what we did with this video, we actually joined our last 3 fam trips, summer, winter, countryside, city side, and took just the best shots of it. And that should just describe the possibilities that you have, show some incentive ideas, yeah, and the fun they had. And we're happy to share the link afterwards in the chat, so you can also view it again with that sound. And it basically shows that we could do events from really small groups from 10 to 5,000, because we do have 11 different conference centers in Salzburg with plenaries for either 1,500 or 4,500 people. So happy to cater for all the needs. Yep.
But Elisabeth, one question from my side. Is there any famous people we should know from Salzburg?
Good question. Yeah. Well, there are quite a few people. Mozart, you might have heard about him. So Salzburg is the birthplace of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and we are very, very proud of calling him the son of our city. And there are as well a lot of themed locations that you could use for events, for incentives. For example, having a private concert in his birth house, or really going on the stage at his concert house. But Salzburg, on the other hand, is much more than Mozart, because at the same time, we are also the home to the Red Bull headquarters. Not a lot of people know that, but we are really happy to get some new vibes, some new innovations, some really cool events and cool locations by Red Bull. Of course, you cannot book Mr. Mateschitz for a speech, but you could integrate Red Bull greatly into the event by using some of their locations like the Hangar 7 or some locations like the Afro Cafe in the city center, and that gives the whole story a new innovation and a new vibe. But there is also much more than just Mozart, right, Alfred?
there's a lot more than Mozart, and there's also much more than Baroque, which might be related to the city of Salzburg as a first thing. But we still have to say that the city of Salzburg is Baroque, and it is one of those cities where you can actually really use those places for your events. You can literally sit on the furniture if there is some in, and you can. It's not only treated as museums. You can really organize private concerts. You can organize workshops in there. You can organize fashion shows like Dirndl and Lederhose at the stage. You can do anything you would like to do. And there are plenty of them in the city of all different sizes. You also get castles in and around the city, which you could use for your events. And what also not a lot of people know is that Salzburg is home to one of the largest fortresses in Europe, which can also be used for events and receptions. And the add-on with that one is that you also get a marvelous view over the city. But as Elisabeth already said, there is also a lot of modern architecture in the city. And Salzburg is probably the only city in Europe that has purpose-built airport hangars, which are dedicated to events, receptions, gala dinners. And the good thing about it, it's only 4 kilometers from the city center. So the connection is really easy, and logistics are really easy for your events too. But Salzburg is also much more than snow. But yet again, we have to say it is snow. When we talk about Salzburg, we talk about the largest ski resort of Europe. And I'm not a big fan of counting out numbers, but those are really impressive. And you have more than 760 kilometers of slopes at your disposal. So when we talk about Ski Amadee, it is a combination of 25 different villages, which you can all use with the same ski pass. You have more than 5,400 accommodation providers in that area, including small B&Bs, private pensions, tents, campsites, hotels, and of course, luxury resorts. You get over 270 restaurants in the skiing area, which can be used for different kinds of events, receptions, Ibiza-like parties with a view on over 3,000 meters. And yeah, all this makes it a very attractive winter destination. But again, as we already said, meeting by the lake in the morning, taking the cable car to go up, or the gondola to go up, takes you about 30 minutes, and you can enjoy a lunch break in the snow even during the summer months. So this is something that is a very unique setup that could be used for your events. You get plenty of activities for the summer and winter months. You get downhill biking, you get one of Europe's highest, longest and fastest zip lines that could be integrated into an incentive. You get hiking and biking, and yeah, you get all that amazing nature around you. And if one of you probably says, yeah, I do like Austria, but you don't have the sea. True, we don't. And we also cannot bring it here for your events or for your groups. But if you're okay with salt water, we can do that. We have nice saltwater lakes in our destination. In the mountains, on which around we can organize gala dinners, receptions. This is also a very, very charming and impressive experience.
Perfect. So I was looking at the chat, but there are no questions yet. So should anyone have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or to ask the question in the chat. that way Elizabeth and Alfred are more than happy to answer your questions. Okay. I think you guys were very, oh, there's one. Oh, it's just very clear presentation. So
thank you.
I think you said it all. There are not really any questions. Oh, there is one.
Recommendations.
Can you see the question or should I read it out loud? Okay.
So it's about accommodation in the city of Salzburg, right? So the question is what kind of accommodation you're looking for. So there are 12,000 guest beds in the city of Salzburg, from really nice 5-star hotels to 4-star superior, to 3-star, to bed and breakfast. And it always depends on the group size. So excellent hotels for MICE groups are, for example, the Imlauer Hotel Pitta, the Hotel Castellani. The Windham Grand is our largest hotel in the city of Salzburg with 262 rooms. So it really depends on what you're looking at, but Minke, I'm happy to send you some recommendations if you let me know what group size or what type of event you're looking for.
And then there's one more. What would be the best group size for a skiing group? Can we go up to 100 packs?
Alfred, do you want to go?
Yeah. In terms of accommodation, we do have large hotels in the respective destinations. So, for instance, in Kaprun, the biggest hotel of Salzburger Land would now have 225 rooms. So we definitely can accommodate groups of that size. When they go skiing, however, we recommend to split them up into very, very small groups, because the experience is much better if they have it in a smaller group, and also for the activities. But in principle, we can go up to groups of that size, yes. Does that answer the question, Evelyn?
No further questions, I think. So I think everything was very clear. Yes, everything's clear. Okay.
Excellent.
So then, first of all, I would like to thank Elizabeth and Alfred for joining us today in the webinar to give some more information about Salzburg City and the Salzburger Land. So thank you very much. And if you'd like to say something else.
Do you want to start?
Of course I can. Well, also a big thank you from my side, first of all, to all the participants. Thank you for joining on a nice sunny Friday morning. I hope it was my very first webinar. I hope it worked. A big thank you to Rani and Matthias and their team. It was an excellent idea. And it was great to be the first one together with Alfred. Thank you again for putting together our presentation. And the fun fact is that we never met ourselves in real life. We met ourselves the first time online as well. So Corona has really great chances as well.
It has their advantages, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. If there are any questions, feel free to contact me anytime. You find our contacts again on the next slide. Yes. And have a wonderful weekend ahead, and hopefully see you soon in Salzburg.
Thank you.
Also from my side, thank you. A big thank you to DMC Forward, of course. A big thank you to all of you who took the time to join us. We were happy to host you virtually in our destination. and hope that it's not going to be too long anymore, that we can actually host you in real life in our beautiful country. Thanks a lot, and have a great day and a nice weekend.
Thank you. For the people who are interested in our next webinar, next week, we will have Valencia, who will give a presentation about their city, but we will definitely give some more information via email or through our social media. So stay tuned for that.
Very nice
Perfect.
destination.
Yeah. Good. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.